In the previous video I made where I talk about the new capacity that I have that got enhanced after coming back from an off-grid experience, I also mentioned that my rooster passed away. Okay, I'm gonna put photos of him. You probably saw him in other of my videos. I do share a lot about him. Because it really did impact my life a lot.
Près de leur pec, sinon ils vont tomber. Voilà.
I had him when he was like a baby, so I think he was a few days old.
To go.
And his two sisters. I still have the two sisters with me, living with me on a piece of land. He passed away while I was traveling with my daughter for the first time on my own and having this off-grid experience. I knew it would happen eventually, but this was a whole process, and I want to share this with you today. Because this thing that I did when I knew that he passed away, guess what? It's the thing that everybody does pretty much when they know that someone passes away. I cried, all right. Do you know why I cried? Because I got attached to his physical appearance and being. And I got attached to the connection we built in this human experience, and I got attached to him being that, and I temporarily forgot or did not focus on the fact that animals, humans, plants, they all have like a soul, I guess, not just like, and we can connect with that soul all the time, and that never dies. All right, actually the only thing that dies or changes form is this physical body, and I explained that in another video. So when someone changes form and like passes away and go elsewhere, what we call die, really what happens is either they are ascending and not coming back here, going elsewhere, but what always happens is that they go to the astral and start another journey of astral traveling, we could say. All right, they have this out-of-body experience where they experience something else that is far better than the limitation of the physical body. And so really the reason we cry is because we only get attached to what we know is so little, the physical body, when in reality, if we got more attached, I said, to the soul, to what is eternal and lasts forever, we wouldn't be crying. We would be so freaking happy that this is happening, because that means we are free to explore anything else. We are actually free and not bound and attached and stuck in a container of limitation, right? Which is also good, because the idea is to be able to have both, to be there, but also to have out-of-body experiences where you can go away and travel and be free whenever you want. And that's why I recommend doing this at night, like meditation, breath work, altered states of consciousness at night, so that you can experience both realities and not just this as if this was everything, when it's only a small part of the human experience. And so I cried, and I read, oh, Mary, why are you crying? Can you just remind yourself what life is actually about? And I remembered all the things that when we take photos and when we take videos of people, of pets, all the things that we do in this human life that lead us to get attached only to the physical appearance and body, versus learning and creating habits around connecting with what is eternal and really worth connecting with, our souls. All right, very few people, if anyone, says, oh, I love your soul, like I see you connect to the auras, or I love to see your aura expanding and changing color and evolving. We don't do that, right? But if we were doing this, the truth is we would see when the moment is coming to ascend and have astral adventures, and we wouldn't be crying like that. And number two, we would remember constantly who we are without getting attached to only this physical appearance, material things, all that stuff, right? And I think that this is something that we should remember as humans. And that's why I say use the night for this. The reason we humans actually need to sleep at night, not necessarily every day or necessarily a lot, especially if you live on energy, but the reason we need to sleep is because we actually go crazy without it, because we would go crazy if we don't use the sleep to go beyond this state aka if we didn't have out-of-body experiences during the sleep, because sleep time is the best time, the most quiet time to actually have those experiences, aka altered states of consciousness, lucid dreaming, astral traveling, out-of-body experiences, however you call it, all right, whatever type of experience you choose to connect to something greater than this, right? And so it's so well made that we humans need to sleep so that we can have this experience, and sleeping is the best time to have them because, again, I said it's quiet, nobody should be disturbing you, and that's the time your body is like resting, but your mind, especially if you live on energy again, is awake or should be awake if you don't live a stressful life. This is the key though, not to live a stressful life. Otherwise, you'll be like sleeping like a zombie, right? It's not the ideal state. And so once we tap into this capacity, all right, and we do this daily, as in we connect with our soul and other souls, we just remember that everyone around us, whether they're alive or like dead, not there anymore, we're still with them always because we can connect with their souls all the time. And then there wouldn't be so much separation between the reality of the astral and the reality of this physical existence with our physical bodies, all right? And I say that because the reason this world is full of fear and sadness and suffering is because we keep disconnecting to this reality. We disconnect more and more, first as we get born into this, but babies remember that. We go like all the things that we do to disconnect, like sending your child to school and all those elements that make us forget who we are because we don't practice altered states of consciousness, meditation, like deep state of meditation, and connecting with natures and the elements and animals who remind us about these capacities, by the way, and at a soul level. It just makes us forget. And then we think that whatever happens in the physical is the only reality. Accidents, suffering, death. We start being fearful of dying when in reality we die every night. And we start just forgetting. And the more we forget, we start acting in ways based on fear, aka the opposite of love. So the idea is to rewire all of this and act differently, all right? And the way to act differently is, again, to reintegrate in our lives habits and routines based on holistic practices, energy work, meditation, breath work, reducing the amount of food we eat because this is numbing us big times, fasting, going in nature, barefoot in nature, connecting, having time alone, having time in the dark, connecting with pets and plants. All these things are going to remind you on a daily basis that this is one part, small part of your entire reality, and the astral world and everything else and all the capacities and powers activated like I have now, like I'm always in this vibration of the like this vibration all the time is with me. That means I'm all the time connected with the universe and the reality of love and unconditional love. And it's actually kind of awkward at the beginning to be able to, like, you constantly are like in God's presence, I'd say, in everything you do. So you can't act out of fear because it's impossible in that state. So if we were in that state all the time, we would act out of love always. There wouldn't be lying, there wouldn't be hiding, there wouldn't be stealing, there wouldn't be all the things that we act in the world and wouldn't do in the world for some people based on fear. All right. Just wanted to share that with you. And so when I think about my rooster, yeah, I was sad because I remember he taught me so much. That animal taught me so much, from being in peace with men, because I grew up, with my dad, and due to my past, life experiences, the thing that I went through made me resent men a lot. So he made me make peace with this, because I was observing him and the way he behaves with the hands. He would be so protective and kind, and sometimes of course chasing them and looking pretty for them and trying to have their attention, but also pecking food and making a special sound to tell them, look, I've got this for you, and letting them eat the food but not him. This really kind heart and protective nature reminded me of how much men can be like this and are a blessing in the world for embodying that protective and providing nature and kindness. It's just they hide it because, again, fear and whatever else happened as a trauma in past lives. He also got me to manifest the house that I have, the 4-bedroom house, which is the most, grounding and beautiful space I've ever manifested in my life. It helped me to be more peaceful and slow down and spend more time in nature and be more compassionate, all those things, and learn that the appearance of aggressive, because he was pecking sometimes, is just an appearance. It wasn't the actual kindness of his heart. And also towards the end, as in when he decided to like go on astral adventures, I was able to understand how he was speaking. So I would really observe him, like how he was pecking the food outside, how he was behaving. He wanted to really spend a lot of time with me, and I could just understand everything he was saying. It's so awkward to explain. Sometimes we forget how animals are such a blessing in our lives, for anything to connect us with who we truly are. But also, once the mission is done and they did that reconnection, sometimes it's time for them to go. And so when they go, it's like understanding that it's something so positive, because they have something else to do, and they have something else to achieve or embody that is greater than this. I feel like the fact that he went when I was away, I knew that the only reason I wasn't going away is because I was the only one really able to take care of him. So people were like, most people couldn't really grab him. In the morning, he would always be in a bad mood, as in like he would peck your toes. Everybody was scared and like run after you.
Ok. Ok, gentil. D'accord, oui. Ok, gentil.
And so I was the only one being able to handle this. And so when I started to like, my daughter got kicked out of school and I removed her, and I had this out-of-body experience that was really, really clear in, you need to let go of your chickens and just go and travel. The only thing that prevented me from doing that was him, as in his presence and me needing to be with him. So once I make the leap and trusted life that he would be fine and whatever would happen was meant to be. So I left, and I left him with my neighbor who has chickens and is used to chickens, and I've done that in the past. And I'm saying this and my ears are ringing so much, like it's so vibrating in my upper body, which means this is the right thing for me to do right now and the way to think about that experience. So I left him with my neighbor while I went away, and one day he texted me saying, I can't see the rooster in the chicken coop. Do you know where he is? And I knew there was something going on. So I texted my mom and said, where is the rooster? And she called and she explained to me that when she came in, he was looking like he wasn't well. So she picked him up. It's the first time she was able to do that. She never was able to pick him up. She was always so scared of him. And this time she was able to, and she had him in her hands and she talked to him, and she knew that it was time for him to go. And she was so emotional telling me this because it also moved her. And then he just peacefully left.
Oh, le petit coq qui veut chanter. Petit coq qui veut chanter aussi.
Deep inside, he knew that he had to do that while I was away. And so when I came back, I mean, I already knew in my heart and did the work to make peace with the situation, but he exactly knew when it was time to go, because it was done, like connecting, you know, and the learning journey together, the growth journey together was over, all right? And by him going is also opening the door for me to travel more, because the only reason I would not do that is because I wanted to stay with him.
Voilà.
So do you see how smart the animals are? Like, he knew he had to go. All the things that he left, all, you know, the memories and the photos and the videos, are just a reminder for me to like keep being creative, because he would like sing with us when my daughter would like play the flute, my mom would play the gong, and he would wait for his turn to like sing. that animal was just so freaking smart. I just wanted to remind you that whichever pet you have, they have such a role in your life that sometimes we diminish and we don't realize. Be grateful for them. Their soul is so beautiful. And they're so helpful on your spiritual journey as well. So now that it's gone, my plans are changing as well. I'm updating my schedule with traveling more, and I'm going to do that with my daughter. And a little message for those of you who have kids. Your kids are so also powerful in a way that they make you grow and connect with life, pets, your higher self in ways that you can't even imagine. And when you allow them to also lead you to some extent, even when it's uncomfortable, you're going to find a part of you that is blissful. Your inner child will also heal. And when people say on a spiritual journey, children don't, are blocked and don't make it easy to grow spiritually, I'm thinking it's exactly the opposite. The reason I have that level in terms of living on energy spiritually and in terms of capacities and energy and finances as well is all thanks to her, to my daughter. Literally. Without her, I'd be like plateauing. I was great at my level, but I wouldn't push myself so much that I did now. That now I can't even recognize who I was before. And the person I used to be would be like, oh my God, I didn't think that could be Mary, living on energy. Okay, I'll make a video about children and their powers next. But if you want to understand your destiny deeper and maybe your animals and everything like that and your purpose on this planet, I have released a package with one-on-one session and a full report for you based on your birth chart, your lifestyle, and anything you will share with me during the one-on-one session. Of course, it's all private. Your eating patterns and everything. And I would work with you one-on-one to expand this to the next level of who you can be, so you can tap into your powers more. And that includes also being able to have those altered states of consciousness where you can connect with your lineage, your high self, your soul, and live the life that you truly want without fear, in love. And if you don't feel ready for this, I do in-person retreats. And if you can't travel or join this as well, you can always join my 7-day challenge where I share about out-of-body experience, deeper states of consciousness, diet change, energy work, and all the things that in my life changed me fully to live in a blissful state, regardless of who you are around and your children and your pets, all that stuff. And even if you live in a city, by the way, because I live in London. All right, I'll catch up in the next video. Link under this one for all the details and access to my newsletter. Bye now. A reminder that when you create a